CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Naja Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Off the top, all of South Florida continues to dry out. That's following a night of storms, rain, and heavy flooding. In Davie, you can see homes and major roadways nearly unrecognizable. Strong winds overnight toppled trees in Miami Beach. Take a look at this video of palm trees down along 29th Street and Collins Avenue. In the city of Miami, the weather has left behind a massive mess. A house set for demolition collapsed, leaving crews searching for a possible missing person. We have extensive coverage this afternoon of the damage left behind. Plus, we know that Broward schools will return back to school. We have everything that you need to know ahead of your rush hour commute as well. But first, let's get right to CBS News Miami's Jacqueline Quinn. She's at the collapse scene in Miami with the very latest.
We were with rescue crews this morning as they were looking for a potential person trapped underneath this rubble, but they determined that there was no one there, so they've left the scene. And now we have a different crew here, this demolition crew, making sure that they can clear all this debris for the safety of all the people around here.
We received a call amongst the many calls they received for a possible structure collapse.
Miami Fire Rescue tells us they got a call for help just after 3 this morning to this home near Northwest 18th Avenue and Northwest 3rd Street. When crews got to the scene, they saw the scope of the collapse and they called for backup.
Now, many neighbors came out and informed us that this house was indeed vacant, but it had been known to have been frequented by a homeless person.
Firefighters also saw a shopping cart full of stuff and a bicycle nearby, leading rescuers to call in search dogs and bring in heavy machinery to search for a possible victim. One woman who spoke to our partners at Univision in Spanish says she moved out in August to a home nearby. She remembers a lot of issues inside.
Era insegura.
It was unsafe. Parts of the ceiling fell in the dining room like about 2 years ago or so, and I feel it was very damaged, completely. Miami Fire Rescue also tells us the home was undergoing demolition, but the weather conditions may have contributed to the collapse.
We understand the roof being removed obviously allowed a lot of the wind and water to accumulate inside. Don't know the condition of the structure itself to see, just how structurally sound it was, but I think there's many factors that contributed as a result.
Miami Fire Rescue tell us no injuries, but 2 families have been displaced by this. One of the homes in the back of this property, it did suffer damage. Debris fell onto the roof, actually poked a hole through that roof. And then adjacent property here, earlier fire crews were concerned that a wall could collapse onto that home. They asked these 2 families to leave. This one will probably likely be able to come back, while the other one has to deal with damages. For now, in Miami, I'm Jacqueline Quinn, CBS News, Miami.
Our coverage moves now to Miami Beach, and that's where we find CBS News Miami's Peter Dinch. He's there now with the cleanup that is currently underway following the relentless rain.
What we are seeing is how wind gusts of between 40 and 50 miles per hour are taking their toll here in Miami Beach. A wind advisory is also in effect until 7 tonight. Our crews have been all over Miami Beach, and there were some memorable images from Meridian Avenue at 12th Street, where a tree crashed down on top of a vehicle. Elsewhere, we saw toppled trees near Collins Avenue at 29th Street and by Meridian Avenue in Flamingo Park. Cleanup crews have been busy. We also had some colorful reactions to all of this from tourists from Germany to Virginia Beach.
You guys in Florida get it a whole lot more, the hurricanes and such, but we get it too. So it's part of the experience. It's all good. See, a lot of the trees have gotten some damage, but the palm trees are hanging in there. We know it's going to clear this weekend, so it's going to be really nice.
We are from Hamburg, so we know weather like that. So, it is like at home, but we were surprised. But now it's beautiful.
Now it's beautiful. I felt terrified by this flooding in the darkness.
I'm initially from England, so this weather's kind of normal for me at this time of year.
There was also a warning from Sunny Isles Beach police for drivers to be careful. There were spotted outages of lights between 158th Street and 189th Street. Crews have been working on the problem all afternoon, and FPL has been notified. On Miami Beach, Peter Dench, CBS News, Miami.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
And taking a live look at downtown Miami, conditions seem to be getting better ever so slightly. Let's get right to next weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler. Cindy, it has been a rough 24 hours.
Certainly has. And we're going to call this the no-name November storm of 2023. That's the label we are giving it because, my goodness gracious, it packed a punch. It is on its way out. It is weakening its grip now for South Florida, and things are going to be looking better. But right now we've got mostly cloudy skies. Temperature 79 degrees, so kind of a raw day today. Those winds have been dying down this afternoon, so yes, we're going to look ahead to better conditions heading into the weekend. Much lighter winds starting tonight. Tomorrow's going to be nice. Drier air returns, and yes, we should get sunshine, at least by the afternoon. Some morning clouds by the afternoon, plenty of sunshine, and our temperatures will be warming up, and that's going to be the same as we head through the weekend, so this is all good stuff. We still have a sliver of a wind advisory for at least the Fort Lauderdale area, Broward County. That's going to last until 7 o'clock this evening, but really those winds have come down a great deal. It has been canceled now for Miami-Dade County. We have a northeasterly wind. We still have some of that water still sloshing up along the coastal areas, so a coastal flood advisory until 1 p.m. on Friday afternoon, and that's just because of that wind flow direction. But those winds will turn tomorrow to the northwest, and that should help kind of alleviate that. But that extends all the way down through the Keys, so that's until tomorrow. And high rip current risk, that goes without saying because of all the windy conditions. That's going to be through tomorrow morning as well. So if you're going to the beach tomorrow, things should be getting much better by the afternoon. Mostly cloudy skies will stick with us tonight. A couple of breaks here and there. And boy, this rain that's coming down, still wind driven, and it's kind of a drizzle, a nuisance, really kind of raw the way it looks out there, but nothing heavy at this point. Drier air trying to make its way in here. So a few showers that could add up to a couple hundredths of an inch, and that's about it. We've got some sprinkles and drizzle now here around I-95 North Miami, getting over to the Palmetto as well. They're trying to make their way off to the west. We still have that northeasterly flow. Winds at this point are down to 7 miles per hour, and those gusts have really come down. Yesterday, we had a gust up to 75 miles per hour. That was a government cut, so it's really along the coastal area. So Friday afternoon looking good. We're expecting partly cloudy skies. Those winds will be much lighter, 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the north and northwest. So it's that flow that will bring in that drier air. There's your winds tomorrow, all the way up to maybe a gust around 16 miles per hour. We'll call it 15 mile per hour winds tomorrow afternoon, but that certainly is nothing to worry about. Still having to look at the tropics. We've got a system down there that is likely to become tropical storm Vince. Not going to be a problem for South Florida, but it is something that we're going to have to watch. Here's your forecast. Temperatures will start warming back into the 80s again. Slight chance for a shower, but overall this is a dry forecast. And then next week, highs in the lower 80s and maybe about a 20% chance for a spot shower by Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Cindy. In Fort Lauderdale, city leaders issued an update on cleanup efforts currently underway. Earlier today, the mayor said that what happened back in April during historic flooding in the area would never happen again.
While street flooding is a nuisance, we have not seen that this is anything like the devastating flood that we saw back April 12th. But we are still here to protect lives and property here in the city. Our city crews have been working around the clock, focused on prioritizing the deployment of assets in vulnerable areas and those with greatest risk to public safety.
Officials say the city is working around the clock to continue to improve waterways and ensure that no family has to lose their home again. Broward schools will be open again tomorrow. Last night, parents were notified that schools would be shutting their doors today due to the severe weather. Stay with us. More news when we come back. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. We have new information on a disturbing story out of Miami-Dade County. A mother has been charged with murdering her 8-year-old son. You are looking at 36-year-old Shanika McKenzie. Police say she confessed to strangling her child to death and running errands with him in the car before going to the hospital. The child was later pronounced dead. She remains in jail on charges of first-degree murder. Just into our newsroom, a jury has found the man responsible for a violent attack on Paul Pelosi guilty. David DePape was charged with trying to kidnap a federal official and assaulting a family member of a federal official. With the conviction, DePape faces life in prison. And now to the very latest on the Israel-Hamas war. Israel's army chief says troops are close to destroying the Hamas military system that existed in northern Gaza. This comes as a deal for a temporary ceasefire could be near with the ongoing negotiations for the release of hostages. CBS News Miami's Skylar Henry has the latest from Washington.
The Israeli military says troops in Gaza recovered the body of one of the hostages seized by Hamas. Her remains found in a building near Al-Shifa Hospital. Soldiers have been combing through the hospital for 2 days and say they found a tunnel and weapons, as well as supplies in this MRI room.
There is an AK-47, there are cartridges, ammo, there are grenades in here, of course uniform, and all of this was hidden very conveniently, secretly behind the MRI machine.
Hamas denies the allegations. A spokesman in Qatar saying Israel's goal is to destroy Gaza's hospitals. CBS News has learned Israel is considering a proposal that includes a 3 to 5 day ceasefire in exchange for Hamas releasing kidnapped women and children. This man's grandson is among the hostages seized in the October 7th terror attack.
A kid of 4 years, for God's sake, save him. Let him go home now.
The White House says it's confident in its own intelligence. Hamas is using Gaza's biggest hospital as a command center and possibly a space to store weapons. But beyond the current crisis, President Biden says the conflict won't end until Israelis and Palestinians find a way to live side by side.
I can't tell you how long it's going to last, but I can tell you I don't think it ultimately ends until there's a two-state solution.
With the war in its 6th week, the State Department says it's in an active and ongoing conversation with Israel on how to protect civilians as it expands its military operations in Gaza. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Congressman George Santos won't seek re-election. That's after a scathing House ethics report on his conduct. The committee said it has overwhelming evidence that Santos broke the law. Santos calls the report a smear campaign. So who says you need a lake or an ocean to grab some fish? Take a look at this scene over Davie that Chopper 4 captured, where you can see a man soaking up some sun with a reel in his hand, taking full advantage of the flooding. And while we don't know if he caught anything, and we don't recommend doing this, you can certainly say that never a dull moment in South Florida. That is your CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Naja Sherman. Hope you are drying out today. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami.